Hi everyone, this is Suhas from Indiahikes and you're watching the DIY Trek series. Today's video is a very special video. Why do I say special is because we have our own Indiahikes trekker Santrupth who went on the Hampta Pass trek and he wanted to do the trek on his own. He went on the trek but unfortunately he got hit by AMS and he was able to complete the trek. But we have our slope manager and senior trek leader Dushyant who is going on an in-depth interview with Santrupth. For me, this is the video of the year. Why do I say that is because we usually don't have a trekker who is speaking about what he went through and the experiences that he had. The learnings that you can actually take from this video is really immense. So this video is slightly longer than usual, but if you are a trekker who's planning to go on your own, or even if you're planning to go for a high altitude trek in the Himalayas, then this is a must watch video until the end. I will be coming in the video every now and then so that we can draw out the learnings when Santrupth is narrating his story.
Hi Santrupth,
Hi,
welcome back.
thank you.
And I think first of all, I wanted to thank you for sharing your experience. We've already heard what amazing and thrilling and little bit of scary experience that you got, and then you faced AMS. I wanted to ask you, like, how was your trek in the first half? And let's start from like how
Yes.
was it for you in the first half?
So, I was quite excited to start my trek. So, I knew I could pitch up my own tent, cook my own food, have a lot of fun, and most importantly, do the trek alone. So, a dream of mine was to go through a forest completely alone, not to hear sounds of any other footsteps other than mine. Just listen to rivers flowing and the trees swaying around, the birds singing. I was like a small child experiencing new things for the first time. So you give a small child an excited thing and all the attention is on that thing. So that's how I was walking through the forest. I missed no sound, no bird. I was looking at everything all around and completely enjoying every moment through that walk.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were things I was worried about. I did push until the point that I could, until the body could take it.
Yeah.
And once the body said this is all, that a decision had to be taken. So, but until then, I really did enjoy.
What happened? Like what symptoms you got, and at what altitude, and where were you exactly when you got the first symptom?
Symptoms.
Yeah.
So once I started cooking my own food, I started developing acidity, a lot of flatulence and gas. I felt nauseous. I felt the nausea while I used to smell the raw food. I considered that as a normal behavior of the stomach as well, because sometimes your gut doesn't really like what you're eating, maybe, or it is too tired sometimes.
I want to just come in over here and talk about this particular aspect. Often I've seen trekkers making this very rookie mistake. You do have some symptoms, but you ignore that. Whenever you're going on a high altitude trek, the golden rule is always associating these symptoms towards AMS itself. Do not ignore these symptoms, always listen to your body. This is very important and key when you're trekking in the higher altitudes.
While again going up the altitude, having the weight behind, I used to feel a lot more tired. My breath used to be a little more heavier. But the most evident symptom was the headache that started right before I entered the pass or completed the pass.
Okay.
The headache was quite strong. But once I had a few more liters of water, it used to disappear and subside, and I wouldn't feel any different. I hadn't really thought about Diamox or any artificial way of acclimatizing at that point, because I was feeling quite comfortable trekking on my own and not having really troubles with my body.
Here you can see Santrupth actually talking about feeling tired or having headache. Now these are the other two symptoms which are aggravating. He could have done a couple of things over here. One is going on a course of Diamox. Trekkers often feel that I don't want to go artificial way, but when it comes to higher altitude, it can be life and death situation. So going on a course of Diamox, giving the body time to acclimatize, it really helps. Or the second call that he should have taken would be to actually descend down from that particular moment itself. So these are two things that could have been done.
Once I tried to camp after finishing the pass, after crossing the pass.
This is at Chiaguru.
At Chiaguru.
Yeah, yeah.
My headache really exploded. At around 12:30 in the night, I had really strong headaches. Still tried to force water inside and tried to solve it by that itself. But then fever kicked in. So I knew this was not a natural thing. My body was saying something different. But then I was really sleepy. So I didn't want to I couldn't even open my eyes and try to communicate with so many people right around me because I was sleeping inside the dining tent. It was raining all day. So I couldn't camp outside and push my body through that as well.
Correct.
But by 3:30 in the morning, the headache was so huge and the fever was so high that I couldn't put my head horizontally onto the ground. The trek leader was 2 persons away from me, sleeping right there. But that also, I was too weak to even make any noises. Quite a few minutes later, I think I started hallucinating as well. I started imagining that there were nobody in the big tent. I was all alone. So I just decided to just sit there and let whatever happened because I felt really helpless at that point. And I couldn't open my eyes wide and get the reality hit back in my brain that everybody are here, you can wake somebody up and get your attention. But then after around 3 hours at 6:30 a.m. The trek leader woke up and I was raring to tell him that something is wrong.
Now over here, Santrupth actually decided to go and cross the pass. If you listen to him, he's talking about how the headache started developing more. The ideal decision would have been to actually start coming down without crossing the pass itself. But he went ahead, he crossed the pass and he went towards Chiaguru. And luckily for him, there was a team of Indiahikes camping that particular day. The first step, what he should have done would have been to perhaps inform the trek leader then and there itself and not wait for things to develop more. So the first thing is to inform the trek leader because the trek leader knows what are the steps to be done in case of AMS. So that is something that would have been the ideal thing to be done. And if I have to talk about a second situation, over here it was raining and he couldn't really move. So the decision that he took was to stay with the team over there. But in an ideal situation, if the weather was really good, then he should have actually taken the call of going further down towards Chatru. Now I understand, from Balokagera, you go towards pass and going down, it is going to be a lot more difficult. But if you see, Balokagera is around 12,200 and Chiaguru is roughly around 12,400 feet. So you're not actually losing the altitude, which is very, very important when you see signs of AMS. So this would have been the ideal situation where he should have started coming down. Otherwise, you will hear Santrupth talking about how his headache starts exploding and you hear the borderline symptoms of haze as well. Luckily, our team was there to make sure that all the right decisions and protocols were taken and it was treated at a right instance. But if we had told earlier, then that would have been the best call to be done over here.
Right then, I got the SpO2 measured from my body. It was quite low. It was dipping at around 70. So I was given Diamox, then immediate Diamox. But then I felt my breath shortening by every minute. And I felt very weak. I couldn't even lift my finger. I again called the trek leader. I got his attention back again and he checked the oximeter. Luckily, the team had 3 doctors within them. So all of them came around, did all the first aid that had to be done. My pulse got back to around 80. By then, Trek leader was ready with the oxygen cylinder and he was ready with all the equipment needed.
Yeah.
So I sat back, they made me sit back up, they gave me oxygen. I'm not sure about how long it was because mind was not ready to understand time by then. So I took as much oxygen as possible into my lungs.
It felt good.
It felt really good. Every breath I took in, I felt like rejuvenating and getting more energy. So after a few minutes, my oximeter SpO2 level went up. It was normal to 90 and 90 plus by then.
I think I'm gonna have this experience in my mind, even though I was not there. I think I will also remember it. Yeah. Now that you're back, what are the things that you think you would have done a little differently when you were up there in the mountains?
So I think before I started this trek, now I realized that I was overconfident. I was a little overconfident. Maybe not underprepared because I had done whatever that had need to be done. I did not calculate my pace while I was going up the mountain. I did not observe my breaths as in when I was resting the symptoms of AMS from the stomach, from the whole body that was telling me that this is not normal. You cannot take this as a some abnormality from the stomach. It's something else. You have to always keep in mind that a mountain is not a plain park. It's not a playground. It's not a place where you just run around, have fun, and go back home. It's a mountain. Every step you go towards the peak, you're gaining altitude and the pressure of oxygen is reducing. So having that thought in the back of the mind will not let you take rash decisions, will always keep you conscious about the body. If somebody wishes to do DIY, I think they require a few more experience with the groups in different weathers on different mountains, because I had only done one Himalayan trek before this, and any questions that I asked myself, any doubts that came up in my mind, I had answers to pick up from only one trek in the Himalayas.
I know that there's quite a lot of things on Indiahikes website as well. Did you watch some of those videos and was it helpful for you to watch these videos?
Yes.
Will you tell me?
So I first, because I was doing Hampta Pass, I read the full report of Hampta Pass again and again, so that I knew exactly how the mountain is, how it is in the monsoon, and it might rain anywhere and anything can happen. More focus on the AMS videos as well. AMS can be caught at any altitude. You can hit the peak, enjoy your moments, come back and still have AMS. It can hit you at any point in the mountains. Acclimatization is very important. How to pack your bags. Even if you're doing a DIY, how to be physically ready, mentally ready. All those videos have just a consolidated source in Indiahikes website. You don't have to go anywhere else. So I think Indiahikes has covered all the information that is necessary just to get you ready before you go. Just that if you start skipping information or taking it lightly, that's when the importance of those videos comes down. Because it's done with such homework and such experience of so many trek leaders and so many trekking experiences. Each word they say might not mean so important when you're sitting in front of that monitor in your house, fan going on round. But when you're in the mountains and you think of that video again, you know they were right. You know every word that was said on the video was true.
So, okay, very nice question that I really want to ask you. Like, would you still like to continue trekking by yourself, like do it yourself style? Would you like to continue with the same style?
I don't think I can go back to trekking in a group. After.
Oh, okay. You would like to continue DIY style, is
definitely
it?
DIY style.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is like learning to cycle. once you're a child. You fall down,
Yeah.
it hurts,
Yeah.
you cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are people scolding you for falling down.
Yeah.
There are people,
Yeah.
consoling you as well.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make you stop cycling.
Totally. Totally.
Because you know how fun it is to do.
Mm.
So I'm not going to romanticize anything that happened up there. I cried for like half an hour once I got through that experience.
Mm.
But that's it. I mean, you have to accept that things happen. Accidents do happen. You didn't listen to the body, that is a mistake.
Mm. Mm.
You didn't acclimatize well, or knowing the symptoms that were coming up, you didn't recognize them well.
Mm.
They were simple mistakes.
Mm.
You now note it down, be more conscious,
Yeah.
and go up there again.
Yeah. Wow. That's the spirit.
Yes.
Like it. Like it.
So we have heard to Santrupth's story, the experiences that he had on the trek. We're able to draw out all the learnings in terms of the symptoms and what you have to do in case you are showing these symptoms. If you are planning to go for a trek in the Himalayas or in the high altitude region, it's very important that you do your homework and read up about this, have the knowledge. That is very important. At Indiahikes, we have put together everything related to the trekking world which will help you before you head out to the mountains. If you still have any questions related to the trekking world or related to AMS, you can always use the comment box over here and our team will get back. This is Suhas from Indiahikes and you're watching the DIY Trek series.